Caps and Riptide getting ready to go here. First game of 2026 for both teams. Riptide's from southwestern New Brunswick, southern New Brunswick. Played them a couple of weeks ago, and Caps came away with a 2-1 lead. So starting for the Caps today, Russell, Baxter, Johnson, LaBelle, and Toole. In net is Easton Callback. So Caps get the puck deep. Riptide work the puck out. Far side, Dylan Toole back to retrieve. Icing is waved off. Jack LaBelle picks up the puck in the corner. Dylan Johnson gets it towards the line. And put back in by the Riptide. Played back out by Toole. Riptide regroup. D-to-D pass. Return D-to-D pass by the Riptide. Dylan Johnson, Jack Baxter in on the forecheck. Put into the zone by the Riptide. They're going for a change. Dylan Johnson tried to get it over to Jack Baxter, but intercepted by the Riptide. And that's a backhand shot and beats the goalie, Easton Callback. So 1-0 Riptide. Out for the next shift, Mitchell, Heffernan, and Morton, Tucker, and Binks. Tucker plays that over to Morton. Morton sends it back to Binks. Binks gets it up to Tucker, and he gets it to Morton out of the zone. Bryce Heffernan with the causes the turnover. Puck sent towards the net, but knocked away by the Riptide. That comes out in front of the net. Picked up by the Riptide. They try and clear. Heffernan on the puck. Binks on the pinch here to keep it in. Puts it into the corner. Riptide try it back up this side of the boards again. Binks on the pinch. Mitchell comes out with the puck. Tries to get it over far side to Morton, but that's knocked away by the Riptide. Riptide come back 2-on-3. Odd man rush here, knocked away by the Caps defensive unit and picked up by Max Morton. Max is going to get to the blue line, but stopped at the blue line and dumped in by the Riptide. 2 men on, picked up by Tucker and directed into the corner. Battle for the puck on the boards. Munn gets it up to Johnson, but that's off his stick. So we have McLean, Johnson, and Munn out with Toole and O'Donnell. That's put in behind the Caps net. Matthew O'Donnell fighting for the puck in the corner. Blake McLean in to help out. Riptide come out of the corner with the puck and try and get it towards the net, but it's knocked away. Comes out to the line, sent towards the net, but knocked away by O'Donnell. Parker Munn picks up possession of the puck and works it to Toole. Toole gets to the red line and dumped it in, but it was stopped by the Riptide goalie and brought towards the net by Munn. And he was hooked down by the Riptide, so the Caps will go to the power play here. 11:53 left in the first period. Face-off will be in the Riptide zone. So we'll have Mitchell, Baxter, Johnson up front, Binks and Russell on the back end for the power play. Face off, one back to Russell. Binks has it, he dumps it into the corner. Mitchell's on that puck, tied up. Hart goes to help out. Hart picks up the puck. He's in behind the net. He gets possession, gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell back to Binks. Binks to Mitchell. Mitchell curls around, gets it to Baxter. Took just a little bit too long to get that shot off. Mitchell picks up the puck. He finds Russell at the point. Russell sends it towards the net. That's tipped high and out of play. So 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the power play here for the Caps. We'll have Munn come on for Hart Johnson here. Face-offs on the near side here. Mitchell in for the face-off. Tied up, played back to Binks. Binks plays it to Baxter, who plays it in behind the net to Munn. Munn curls out from behind the net. Finds Russell at the point. Over to Mitchell. Mitchell to Russell. Russell on the blue line, gets it to Binks. Binks walks in, shoots. Glove saved by the Riptide goalie. Played out towards the line, but picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell to Russell. Russell over to Binks. Binks walks in, shoots. Glove save. Wasn't covered, but blown dead by the referee. So 41 seconds left in the power play. For the Caps, we'll have a whole line change here. Dylan Johnson, Bryce Heffernan, Max Morton, Jack Tucker, and Matthew O'Donnell. 10:32 left in the first period. Worked up the side by the Riptide. Cut off by Heffernan at the line. Played by O'Donnell, but iced by the Riptide. Picked up by Tucker. Tucker regroups behind the net. He tries it up the far side. He plays it back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell plays it up to Morton. Morton into the middle to Heffernan. Heffernan to Morton. Morton goes into the corner to get it. 5 seconds left on the power play. Picked up by Dylan Johnson behind the net, worked it out in front. And Matthew O'Donnell will regroup. O'Donnell gets the red line, works it in to the blue line. He's cut off. Heffernan in on the forecheck. Puck's taken away from him. Played up, chipped in by the Riptide. Good forecheck by the Riptide. Easton Russell comes over to take that puck away. Played out. It's in some feet here on the near side. Played in by the Riptide onto Easton Callbeck, and he'll cover that up. So we have Munn, Baxter, Russell, LaBelle and Toole on the ice right now. LaBelle picks up the puck off the face-off, goes up the far side. Tried to work it up to Baxter, but that's picked off by the Riptide. Munn will work it up this near side, put it on goal. A little bit of trouble with for the goalie covering that one, and he'll cover that one up for a face-off in the Riptide zone. We'll have Russell, Baxter, and Johnson on with LaBelle and Toole. Russell in for the face-off. Knocked towards the net and covered by the goalie. Got 8:53 left in the first period. Russell wins the face-off back to LaBelle. LaBelle puts it towards the net. Off a Riptide defenseman in behind the net, picked up by Russell. He tried to center it, but was off a leg. Comes out to the line, and Toole couldn't quite keep that in. It'll be a 2-on-2 back the other way. LaBelle keeps him wide and behind the net. That's in some feet. Russell picks it up, tries to get it to Baxter in the middle, but unsuccessful there. LaBelle makes the pass up to Johnson. Johnson dumps it in. That's off a Riptide stick, so it won't be icing. Baxter in on the forecheck, knocks down his defensive opponent. Johnson picks up the puck. takes a shot and saved by the Riptide goalie. We'll have Mitchell, Hart Johnson, McLean, Hart Johnson, Parker Munn with Tucker and Binks. Face-off is tied up. Hart Johnson put it towards the net, but it went wide. Good hustle to keep that puck in on the near side boards. Munn curls around, tries to get to the middle, but he's denied by the Riptide. That's poked past Tucker. Binks is there to help out, and he works it back out. This should be a chance here for the Caps, but they couldn't get their feet together there. Tucker holds the puck in at the line. He works it around the net. No one covering for Tucker on the back end. McLean comes around, and there's going to be a penalty on the Caps for interference. So Caps will go to the penalty kill here with 7 minutes and 26 seconds left in the first period, down 1-0. We'll have Mitchell, Morton, Toole, and LaBelle come out for the penalty kill. Mitchell wins the face-off, back to Toole. Toole gets it over to LaBelle, and LaBelle ices the puck. Max Morton in on the forecheck, putting some pressure on. Riptide work it up the far side. Was almost kept in by Toole, but a good play to keep the puck down in this end either way. Mitchell come in for the face-off. One back by the Riptide, D-to-D pass. They work it up the wing. A bit of trouble controlling the puck there. Puck comes to LaBelle. He ices the puck down to Mitchell, who's in on a break. Shorthanded opportunity for Mitchell. He tried to go 5-hole, but denied by the Riptide goalie. Comes out to the line. Toole's going to play that back in on the goalie, and the goalie's going to cover that one. So chance there for the Caps on the penalty kill there. Score remains 1-0 Riptide. 6:44 left in the first period. 1:18 left on the penalty. Baxter, Heffernan out with Tucker and O'Donnell to try and kill the rest of this penalty off. Shot by O'Donnell, gloved by the Riptide goalie. Baxter in for the face-off, one back by the Riptide and worked around the far side boards. Heffernan's got pressure on that side. D-to-D pass, come back to this side. They work it through the middle. O'Donnell keeps them wide. That's turnover by the Riptide. Baxter's got his defenseman turned around here. He's going to get towards the net. Another shorthanded chance here. Baxter had a backhand shot, but it was saved by the Riptide goalie. Puck comes out to the line and fed back in by Tucker. Riptide tries to go D-to-D, but it leaks out the far side wing. We got Russell on in place of Baxter right now. Puck sent up the far side, but picked up by Matthew O'Donnell and sent deep. We got 15 seconds left in the penalty. Russell and Johnson on the penalty kill as forwards. Binks and O'Toole on the back end. Riptide come up and get the blue line. Shot on. Knocked away by callback and cleared by Binks. Puck played up to Russell. Russell gets past his guy, tries to go short side and puts it off the post. Puck in the corner, worked up the near side boards. And back to Toole. Toole loses control there. And Binks works it up to Johnson. Johnson fed it into Russell's feet, but picks up the loose puck. Goes through the middle, works it over to Russell. Russell works it to Johnson. Johnson works it back to LaBelle at the line. LaBelle shot on goal. That goes wide. Russell plays it back to Binks at the line. Binks is going to have a shot that's sent towards the net and deflected aside by the Riptide. Hart Johnson brings the puck out front. He's knocked off the puck slightly. Russell's going to bring the puck out and reset. That's knocked away from him, but Jack LaBelle's there to pick up the loose puck. He works it to Binks. That's off his stick. Binks gets up through the middle and plays it to Hart Johnson. Hart comes in through the middle. It's knocked off his stick, but he regains the puck on the boards and plays it deep. Parker Munn's going to be in on the forecheck. Comes around and leaks out the far side, but cut down by O'Donnell. O'Donnell plays it over to LaBelle. LaBelle touch pass to Munn. Munn gets it to Morton, and Morton gets it into McLean. Behind the net now, Max Morton, played out by the Riptide. They play it up through the middle and come back with a 2-on-2. Long shot off callback's blocker and up into the netting for a whistle. We'll have Heffernan, Morton, and Mitchell out for the defensive zone face-off with O'Donnell and LaBelle. Face-off one back by the Riptide. Played into the corner by the Riptide, looking for options out front. It's a one-timer cross crease, but just deflected slightly by a Cap stick. LaBelle comes out, plays it into the middle. Couldn't connect on that pass, so the Riptide will come back the other way. Played off the side of the net, comes out, picked up by LaBelle. LaBelle works the puck up to Morton. Morton gets the blue line and shoved deep by Mitchell. Going to be picked up here by Heffernan. Played to Toole at the line. Toole plays it back in. They're going to go for a long stretch pass here. And it's going to be a one-on-one. And a nice shot by the Riptide, but it went off the crossbar, I believe. Played up to the line by Morton. Tucker picks up the loose puck. He's going to get the blue line and get it deep. Baxter, Russell, and Dylan Johnson will head onto the ice. Almost picked off by Dylan Johnson, but the Riptide will play it back the other way. Shot off the post, rebound, another post by the Riptide. So the Riptide's getting lots of good opportunities here. Chipped out by Baxter, off the linesman and held up a little bit for the Riptide so they could make a play on it. But puck comes out. Puck played up the near side boards and off the referee, stopped at the line. That's too many men on the Riptide. So the Caps will go to the power play here. It's sort of an unfortunate bounce on the Riptide. They tried to play the puck deep, and it was into the referee's feet. So the Riptide didn't have a chance to change. So the Caps will go to the power play here, up down 1-0 with 1:43 left in the first period. Mitchell in for the face-off with Johnson and Baxter on the wings, and Russell and Binks on the blue line. That puck was played off the boards. Binks comes around the net and sets up for the breakout. Plays it to Mitchell. Mitchell back to Binks, or back to Russell. Russell gets it to Johnson. He's denied at the line. Russell regroups and gets it up to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to get the blue line. Waits for the team to set up. Gets it to Baxter. Baxter gets to the front of the net. Binks was looking for a rebound. Puck goes behind the net. It's going to come out towards the line. Binks is going to shove it back in the corner, but there's no one there to help out. So the Riptide will get puck down the ice, and there will be 1 minute left in the penalty and 40 seconds left in the period. Russell plays that into some feed up front. That's picked up by Munn. Munn gets a shot on net. And Mitchell was there for the rebound, but puck was kept out of the goal by the Riptide goalie. So Riptide goalie making some good saves here. Caps only have 4 players on here. LaBelle coming from the bench. Munn comes around the net to Heffernan. Heffernan's got space to walk in. He makes a move. Comes around the near side. Finds LaBelle at the point. LaBelle gets it to Russell in the middle. Russell puts it to Heffernan in the corner, off his stick just a little bit. Puck comes to the line to Russell. Russell makes a So that's the end of the first period. 1-0 Riptide. So the Caps will start the third period with 17 seconds left on the power play. Mitchell, Baxter, Munn, LaBelle, and Binks. Sent down the ice, played in behind the net by Callback, picked up by LaBelle. LaBelle gets it to Binks. Chip pass. So we're even strength now. Baxter keeps that puck in. And there's going to be a head contact call on the Caps here. That's a 4-minute penalty to the Caps. So 14:35 left in the second period. Riptide will go to a 4-minute power play here. We'll have Mitchell, Morton, Toole, and Tucker on for the penalty kill. Played out by Toole. Morton's hauled down as he was going for the puck. So it'll be penalty to the Riptide. 2 minutes for tripping. A good hustle by Max Morton there to put the pressure on there and cause that penalty. So it'll be 4-on-4 for a minute 50. No, sorry, 2 minutes. And then the Riptide will go back to the power play afterwards. So Mitchell in with Russell. Pushed into the Riptide zone. They play it around the net. Play it up far side and then through the middle. That's in some feet. Kept to the outside. Played behind the net by the Riptide. Drop pass, far side to the Riptide D. Binks is in there fighting for the puck. He'll come out with it. Binks reverses it to O'Donnell. O'Donnell up to Mitchell. Mitchell through the middle. Just gets it out of the zone there. Riptide play it D to D and get it up the ice to the middle. Russell will come out with the puck. He stick handles it into the corner and will come out from behind the net. Played in front to McLean. McLean's going to have a shot on. It was a bit of a weak shot, but it was on net. Russell curls, makes a move into the middle, gets it across to Binks, and Binks finishes that one off. Beautiful pass by Easton Russell across crease. Binks had pinched from the point and buries it top corner to tie it up for the Caps. So we have 43 seconds left in the Riptide penalty, so we'll have 43 seconds of 4-on-4. McLean, Morton, Toole, and Tucker out for the Caps. Played it in through the middle by the Riptide. Tucker had that momentarily. He's knocked down. He gets back up. Morton's going to be nearly the first person on it, but it's played far side to Toole. Toole reverses it over, D to D to Tucker. Tucker doesn't quite get the line, but it's played by the Riptide, so icing's waved off. Riptide play it up to the line, kept in by Toole. Toole fires it in deep. Penalty's about to expire, so we'll go to the penalty kill here. A couple of So the Riptide are on the power play here for 1:40. That's lobbed into callback. He'll freeze that one and hold on to it. So 1:36 left in the power play for the Riptide. We'll have Johnson, Heffernan, that's Dylan Johnson, Bryce Heffernan, Jack LaBelle, and Graham Binks out with 1:36 left in the penalty. Played back to the line, shot on, blocked by Binks, and ice down the puck, ice down the ice. 12 minutes left in the first period, 1:22 left in the penalty to the Caps. Worked up the far side by the Riptide. They'll settle it down and try and set up here. Worked into the corner. Worked behind the net. LaBelle goes into the corner, puts some pressure on. Riptide in behind the net. They walk out and to the line. Slightly fumbled at the line, but Caps couldn't get after it. Binks gets his stick on it, and that puck didn't get out. Puck comes behind the net and back in front. Denied in front of the net. LaBelle keeps him wide. Shot on net. Binks stops it and throws it to the side. Riptide player knocked down. 20 seconds left in the power play to the Riptide. Ten seconds left in the penalty here. Riptide work the puck behind the net. They work it out the far side onto the wing and then back out. Back out in front. And blocked by callback. And that's sent deep. Jack Baxter out of the penalty box on a breakaway, but couldn't capitalize. Maintains control, gets it to Heffernan. His stick's lifted. Still a threatening position here. So we're back to even strength. Caps killed off that 4-minute penalty. And they're threatening here, but the Riptide are going to play the puck back this way. It's a 3-on-2. Coming back the other way, worked around the net by the Riptide and into the near corner. Sent in front. That's going to be picked off by Munn. Baxter's going to work it far side, up the right wing. He dumps it deep and played by the goalie. Turned over in front. Munn just couldn't quite get a stick on that one, and it's knocked to the corner. Munn picks up the puck behind the net. McLean and Hart Johnson have joined Munn to the line. O'Donnell plays it back in. McLean into the corner. He gets it out in front. That's deflected aside by Parker Munn. Couldn't get the shot on, but Parker's going to pick up a loose puck here, but couldn't quite control it. Comes towards the line, kept in by Toole. Toole with a quick shot on net, wide of the mark and around the outside to the other side. Hart Johnson on the forecheck here. Toole with a pinch. He pins his man up against the boards, and the Riptide will try the other side. Parker Munn on the forecheck on the near side, and the Riptide will try the other side. Into the feet of Toole and a linesman. Toole will play it back in, and Riptide will go for reverse here. Caps couldn't keep it in at the line. Nice back check by O'Donnell to break up that opportunity. That'll give the Caps a chance to break it the other way. Mitchell's going to pick up this loose puck. He's going wide, makes an inside move, and he put that in backhand. That's a really, really impressive shot. Goalie went down and he found a little bit of space. I think it went off the crossbar and landed in the white ice in behind the goaltender. So I think that'll be unassisted, Liam Mitchell, because he picked that puck up in the neutral zone. If not, maybe an assist goes to Max Morton. So that'll make it 2-1. Caps, 8:25 left in the second period. All right, we got Morton, Mitchell, Heffernan on with Binks and Tucker. That's sent in by the Riptide. They'll play it into the corner. Morton's the first guy there. He plays it back to Binks. Binks loses the puck in behind the net. Puck goes in behind the net. Tucker pokes at it. He knocks it away from his man. Comes to the line, not out. And that looked like it was out, but it was called in. That's deflected off the stick towards the net. Picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell's going to regroup. Play it up the wing to Morton. Morton's going to get the line. Work past the blue line. He's got Mitchell behind him. Mitchell works it into the corner to Morton. Morton looked for Heffernan out front. Russell's going to come off the bench and play this puck towards the net. But that's played aside by the Riptide defense. Oh, LaBelle had a nice pinch there. Heffernan threw it on net, and the Riptide D almost deflected it into their own net. Dylan Johnson back to retrieve. Riptide on a change, so Caps will have a chance to transition here. Russell plays it up the far side boards, cuts back towards the middle, but knocked away by the Riptide defenseman. Baxter's going to pick up the puck behind the net. Battling in the corner. Johnson comes out with the puck. He's got Russell going towards the net. That's sitting in the toe save by the Riptide goalie. Riptide are going to come back 2-on-1 here. Shot high and wide by the Riptide forward. Russell's going to play the puck to the middle to Baxter. Couldn't quite connect on that pass. Russell loses his footing. Riptide are going to come back the other way. They gain the line and try and play it to, and that puck was out. It's delayed offside, so Toole will have a chance to regroup. And he plays it up to Russell. Russell up the far boards. Russell makes a move. He's going to get into the middle here. Shoots a little bit high. He's got the rebound though. Russell plays it to O'Donnell at the line. That's wide of the mark and played back to the line and out by the Riptide. O'Donnell will be back to retrieve. He's looking for options. He works through the middle. That's played off the linesman, and it should have been out, but the linesman got in the way there. Fortunate for the Caps, because it was going to be a 2-on-1 the other way. O'Donnell with a pinch there, but couldn't get to the puck. Sent deep by the Riptide. Tucker to retrieve. He spins around the net. He's hauled down, but no call. Sent in through the middle. Kept in at the line nicely by the Riptide. That's going to be a long shot. Deflected. Rebound sitting there. Rebound was sitting in the blue ice, and Caps couldn't pick up and clear it. So the Riptide will tie it up 2-2. All right, we'll have Morton, Mitchell, Heffernan, Binks, and Lavelle out. Lavelle picks up the puck, tried to regroup, but came off his stick. He works it up the far side boards. He gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell maintains control and gets it into the Riptide zone. Morton plays it back to Lavelle. Lavelle fires it far side, but Binks had pinched in a little bit. Puck comes to Lavelle at the line. He puts it on net. That's off the post and frozen by the Riptide goalie. So 2-2 to score, 4:30 left in the second period. We'll have Mitchell, Morton, and Heffernan stay out with Lavelle and Binks. Lavelle puts a shot on net. That's tipped by Mitchell. Nice save by the Riptide goalie. Riptide will play it out, but looked like it was kept in, but was called offside by the linesman. So Mitchell will go for the neutral zone face-off here. One back to Lavelle. Lavelle works it in deep. Played by the Riptide goalie, but not cleanly. So the Caps will have a chance to keep it in. Riptide work it back the other way. Sent in deep by the Riptide. Binks will be the first one there. He pins it up against the boards. Mitchell plays it up the near side boards to Morton. Morton gets it to Heffernan. Heffernan is knocked down. Forward line's going for a change here. They're going to look for a deep pass. That's cut out by Binks. Binks plays it up to Morton, or sorry, Russell. Russell's going to get that deep. Hart Johnson on the forecheck, or Dylan Johnson on the forecheck. Then pass through the middle is cut out. Riptide are going to come up the other way. Shot, or no shot. And there's going to be a tripping call. So the Caps will go back to the penalty kill. .3:15 left in the second period. Russell, Baxter, O'Donnell, and Toole in for the defensive zone face-off. That's one back by Russell to Toole. Toole tries it to this side, but kept in at the line by the Riptide. But nice anticipation by Russell to make sure that the Riptide couldn't put that puck deep. That's deflected through the middle by Baxter and picked up in the neutral zone and sent deep by Toole. So 1:30 left in the penalty to the Caps. The Riptide work it up into the middle. They're going to try and regroup here and get set up. That's played into the Caps zone, but O'Donnell's the first guy there, pinches off his man, but the Riptide are going to pick up that puck in behind the net and play it to the line, play it to the middle. And it's going to come out towards the line. It's going to be a shot, deflected in front, sent towards the net. Callback's down. That's shot high and wide by the Riptide. 55 seconds left in the penalty. O'Donnell will be the first one to get that puck, but he'll have a chance to ice it here. He gets it up to Russell. Russell's going to put it on net, and Baxter's going to be in on the forecheck momentarily. Played up long by the Riptide, but they're going to settle in and try and set things up. In behind the net, 25 seconds left in the penalty. Riptide worked the puck into on the backdoor pass. Nice setup there, but that puck not quite out. Riptide are going to get another chance here. Shot, rebound, another toe save by Callback. We got 4 seconds left in the penalty here. Riptide will get one more chance here. Shot coming from the point. That's wide. Comes off the end boards. We'll have Dylan Johnson join the play here. That shot high and off the glass in behind the net. Riptide come out. There's an empty man sitting out in front. That's blocked by a Caps player out in front. Tucker gets that puck out. It's a one-on-one with Dylan Johnson. He's knocked off the puck. So we have McLean, Munn, Dylan Johnson, LaBelle, and Tucker sending that puck in deep. Dylan Johnson in on the forecheck. He fends off his man. Comes around in front. That puck's going to be in front for Hart Johnson, who had a good crack at it. But another nice save by the Riptide goalie. So the Caps kill off another penalty. 27 seconds left in the second period. We'll have Mitchell, Heffernan, and Morton out with Binks and Toole. Face off, one back by the Riptide. They'll work it around the far side. Morton puts pressure on to keep that puck in, and that's iced by the Riptide. 19 seconds left in the second period. Mitchell will be in for the offensive zone face-off here. Mitchell, Morton, Heffernan, Binks, and Toole. Tied up, but picked up by Heffernan. He plays it out in front. Binks plays it back to Toole. That's out in front. The clock hasn't started. The penalty, the period should be over, but we were late on the clock. They should have been set. There were 17 seconds left in the period, and they forgot to. They adjusted the clock before the Riptide bench came over. That's a shot on by Heffernan, and the Riptide will just pin the puck against the boards, and we'll go for a flood. Come back in about 15 minutes. All right, start of the third period here, 2-2 score. We got Mitchell, Heffernan, and Morton out with LaBelle and Toole. Toole back to retrieve in behind the net. Picked up by Morton. Played into the middle by the Riptide. Picked up by a Riptide player. Chipped out towards the line by LaBelle, but fed back in deep by the Riptide. LaBelle picks up the puck, plays it to Heffernan. Heffernan gets it to Mitchell in the middle. Mitchell drops it off to Heffernan. Heffernan went cross ice to Morton, but it was just off his stick. Wide open net. Riptide pick up the puck and play it into the corner. Riptide are there first. Played into the middle. Mitchell picks up the puck and gets it to Morton. That's knocked away from Morton. Not quite kept in at the line by the Caps. Riptide will regroup, D-to-D pass, and they'll go up the far side boards. That's sent in deep. LaBelle will be back to retrieve. He works it around the net, gets it up to Easton Russell. Easton gets it to Jack Baxter, and Baxter plays it around the net. Tucker on the pinch. Puck's taken away from him. Sent up down the ice. Icing is going to be called. So 13:02 left in the third period. We have McLean, Munn, and Hart Johnson on with Jack Tucker and Binks. Face-off won by the Riptide, worked around the net, D-to-D. They're going to work it up the wing, but they couldn't connect on that pass, so it'll go for icing again. .53 left in the third period. McLean in for the face-off. It's picked up by McLean. He couldn't connect on a pass there. Tucker picks up the neutral zone puck. Riptide come out. 2-on-2. Tools there with his man fighting for the puck. Morton's going to come over and help out. He's knocked down. Mitchell will play it back around the net to O'Donnell, who chips it into the corner. He tries to go through the middle. That's offside, delayed offside. Parker Munn tried to work it up to Morton, but stretch pass was a little bit too far. So that'll go for the icing on the Caps. 11:44 left in the third period. We've got Mitchell, Morton, Heffernan, LaBelle, and Binks out for the Caps. Defensive zone face-off. Mitchell wins it to Binks. Binks reverses it up to Heffernan, and that's going to come out. Morton on the forecheck. It's going to go far side. Picked up by Mitchell. Mitchell gets it to Heffernan. Heffernan back into the middle to Mitchell, and he works it. Hopped out into the bench. Hopped into the Riptide bench. Face-off will stay inside the Riptide zone. Mitchell in for the face-off. One back to Banks. He has a shot and gloved nicely by the Riptide goalie. Mitchell in for the face-off. Pushed into the corner and it bounced out in front. Reversed up the near side, down the ice, and that'll go for icing. Mitchell back in for the face-off. One back to LaBelle. LaBelle has a chance to put it on net, but that's blocked by the Riptide forward. Picked up by Morton, who got it to Mitchell. Mitchell gets to the net. That's off. I couldn't tell if it was a post or the outside of the net. Either way, not in. Riptide come out with the puck. Riptide play the puck around the net. Comes out to the line. It's in some feet. And Bryce Heffernan will be away. He's got a back checker on him, so he's going to dump the puck deep. And a wholesale line change for the Caps. Nice anticipation by Dylan Johnson to keep that stretch pass from connecting. Russell's fighting for the puck. Comes out to the line. Tucker pinches. But Riptide eventually get it out. Russell will be back to retrieve. Russell plays it up the boards. And that'll go for icing. 9 minutes, 58 seconds left in the third period. Baxter, Dylan Johnson, Easton Russell, Toole, and Tucker. Baxter in for the face-off. He wins it back. Picked up by Toole, who plays it to the far side. Picked up and blocked by Dylan Johnson, and he's going to be off on a breakaway. He's one-on-one, but he's got trailers, and he fell down coming across the middle. Russell picks up the puck. He gets it to Toole at the line. Toole puts it towards the net, but that's picked off by the Riptide defenseman. Played past Tucker at the line. Toole will be back to retrieve. Toole plays it up to Russell. Russell chips it up to Baxter. It's in some feet over there, but picked up and transitioned the other way. Toole steps up. And it could have been too many men there on the Riptide, but no call. Toole up the boards to Russell. Russell tries to chip it out, but it's off some shin pads. He maintains control, gets it up to McLean, and McLean fires it deep. Baxter's in on the forecheck. Reversed by the goalie. Kept in at the line by O'Donnell, but goes into the corner where the Riptide will pick it up. 8:40 left in the third period. Picked off by Baxter. He's going to transition the other way. He gets it over to Munn, but Munn couldn't control that one. He sends it towards the net. Riptide work it back. And they send it deep. O'Donnell knocks the puck away. Baxter plays it up to Munn. Munn gets it out. Delayed offside, but Munn's going to pull this out. He's 1-on-4 back the other way. Makes a couple of moves. Shot towards the net, but deflected aside by the Riptide. Puck comes in behind the net. Munn picks it up. So we have Munn, Johnson, and McLean, LaBelle, and Toole on right now. That's chipped past LaBelle. Sent towards the middle of the net. Caps couldn't clear. That's off the stick of callback, so Caps got lucky there. Russell up the, or LaBelle up the boards to Heffernan. Heffernan goes wide, around the net. Sends it in front to Mitchell, just off his stick, or else he would have been wide open in front of the net. LaBelle fires it in deep. Riptide go for a change. Played up the boards, and that should be icing on the Riptide. .704 left in the third period. We got Mitchell, Heffernan, and Morton on with Tucker and Binks. Mitchell in for the face-off. One to Heffernan. Heffernan gets it back to the line. There's a delayed penalty here. Riptide play it back to the line. And someone's hurt in the corner. Jack Tucker was hurt. So 2 minutes for hooking. So we'll have Baxter, Dylan Johnson, Toole, and O'Donnell in to try and kill this off. O'Donnell fires it around the far side, but kept in by the Riptide. They push it to the corner. O'Donnell will be there first. He tries to get it out, but it's cut off by the winger. Winger falls down. Baxter can't quite get that puck out. O'Donnell gets another chance and he ices it. 1 minute 30 seconds left in the penalty of the Caps. Riptide work it around the boards. Back through the middle. Knocked away into the corner. O'Donnell's there fighting for the puck. He'll get it to Baxter. Baxter gets it out. Dylan Johnson will go for a change. Baxter goes for a change. So we'll have Russell and McLean out. That's picked off by McLean. He's going to work it into the middle. Backhand shot just wide of the goal. Russell's going to keep that in the zone. He gets it in deep. McLean will fight for that puck. 40 seconds left in the penalty to the Caps. Worked up the near side here. It's a nice move. Riptide score. So 3-2 Riptide, 5:15 left in the third period. Heffernan, Mitchell, Morton, Binks, and O'Donnell out. Played back to Binks. Binks tried to get it up to a forward. Mitchell knocks it away from the Riptide. He's working in after it. Riptide work it up the near side. Comes to the line. Shoved back in behind the net. We'll reset. Binks holds the line. Face-off will be in the Riptide zone here. Mitchell in for the face-off. One back to Binks. Binks puts it on net. Blocked by the Riptide. Mitchell keeps it in. Fights against the boards. He tries to come out in front. Puck sitting there. Mitchell was put into the net, and the Riptide will come back 2-on-1 the other way. And that's off the post. Puck's in behind the net. Mitchell plays it around. So I guess this call is going on the Riptide. 2 minutes for roughing. .407 left in the third period. Caps to the power play, looking to tie it up. Mitchell, Munn, Baxter, Russell, and Binks. That's picked up by Baxter. He's tied up. Mitchell over to help out. He comes out with the puck in behind the net. He's looking for Russell at the line. Russell has it. He fires it on net, and that's in the net. I don't think it was tipped. I think it was a nice screen set up by Baxter and Munn, and a nice low shot by Easton Russell ties up the game. So that'll be Russell from Mitchell on the power play to tie it up. 3:50 left in the third period. We'll have Mitchell, Russell, and Baxter out with LaBelle and Toole. Russell chops it deep, played by the Riptide goalie. Riptide defenseman lost the puck into the corner, but retrieved. Easton Russell's going to come out in front with the puck. He gets it to Baxter. It's in some feet. Russell retains possession here. He works into the middle. Tried to get it over to Mitchell, but that's cut away by the Riptide. Worked into the corner by the Riptide. And they'll go far side and try to clear on the other side. Nice play by the forward just to chip that out on the backhand. LaBelle back to retrieve. He tries to get it up to Baxter, and they misconnect on the pass. It looked like it was deflected by a Riptide defenseman, but I guess not. So we'll have a defensive zone face-off here. Tied 3-3, 3:01 left in the third period. We've got Munn, Heffernan, Binks fighting for the puck in the corner. Riptide come out with it. They play it to the line and back to the wing, and then back in behind the net. O'Donnell doing a nice job. Binks picks up the loose puck and works it out towards the line. It's going to be a 3-on-1 back for the Caps. Heffernan's got the puck. He works it over to Munn. A beautiful tip and a beautiful save by the Riptide goalie. Looked like the puck was loose, but it was blown down by the referee. We'll have Mitchell, Baxter, and Russell come on. 2:07 left in the third period. We have Toole and LaBelle on the back end. That's a weak call. Baxter knocked down his man, and they're calling a cross check on it. So Caps will have to finish off the game on the penalty kill. 2:02 left in the third period with a 2-minute penalty. Riptide are calling a timeout. All right, 31 seconds left in the penalty of the Caps. 33 seconds left in the period. Face-off won by the Riptide. Shot from the point. That's blocked by callback. And the rebound was sitting there, put in by the Riptide. So power play goal by the Riptide with 24 seconds left in the third period. Banks plays it up to Russell. Mitchell's in. He's in with Baxter, plays it to the middle, and he deposits it in the net to tie things up. 4-4 with 16 seconds left. So Russell, Banks played it up to Russell. Russell chipped it to Mitchell. Mitchell broke in on a 2-on-1 with Baxter, and Baxter made a nice move to beat the Riptide goalie with 16 seconds left. So Caps tie it up, 4-4, 16 seconds left. Mitchell, Russell, Baxter, Toole, and Banks. Baxter picks up the loose puck. Right into the corner, 4 seconds left. Mitchell's got control of the puck, and this one will end in a tie on a well-played game from both sides. Hey, buddy. See ya. The Caps hit the road tomorrow to play up in near Edmundston against the Western Pioneers, team out of Edmundston area, Grand Falls. It's an 11:30 start in a freezing cold rink. So that's it for today.